Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Ask Nugget Show, where I do my best to answer the community's cryptocurrency related questions. So this week the first question comes on Twitter from Shashankraj. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. What exchange is best to buy and sell crypto with fiat for minimum fees? Now, this is a question that we get a lot, and it has changed since I first made that video about how to buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in Australia. And there's basically two stages that we can have fees when we're getting money and into an exchange and then into crypto. So a lot of people, their first experiences with Coinbase, with that really user-friendly app on their phone, but they've got fees of around 4% if you're using your credit card or debit card. So, if you're buying $100 for the first time, maybe you're not too fussed about $4. But as we want to put more and more money into crypto, obviously fees become very important. So in Australia, we're pretty spoilt for choice, and most of them have pretty low fee options in terms of getting money from a bank account onto the website. So we've got funds transfers, BPay, Polypay, Blue Shift, where you can put in money at a news agency, obviously cash deposits at a bank. Some exchanges have got the Swift system, so plenty of options there. The one that tends to be cheapest is either Polypay or electronic funds transfer, just moving money over onto the exchanges accounts. Sometimes BPay as well. So you do have to have a look at each exchange. Huobi, CoinSpot, CoinJar, BTC Markets, Independent Reserve, ACX. These are all the Australian exchanges that all tend to be fairly low in one option or another. And then the second step of actually buying crypto, a lot of them these days, guys, are well under 1%. BTC Markets definitely. A lot of people don't realize CoinSpot has an order book option. Rather than clicking buy Bitcoin, head over and use their order book to buy Bitcoin, and that's only 0.25%. Huobi, 0.2%. I think they've got fee trading at the moment. We're actually working really closely with them to get you guys some heavy discounts on trading fees and some airdrops and stuff like that. So make sure you're following us on Twitter and all our socials. I'll keep you up to date if we do get that discount code for trading, because that exchange does have a lot of Aussie dollar pairs as well, like Power Ledger, that maybe don't have those Aussie dollar pairs on other exchanges. So we're pretty spoiled for choice. Then as you're going into altcoins, the fees tend to go up a bit because it's harder for these exchanges to source these coins. So 1% to buy coins on CoinSpot, depending on that spread. The other option is obviously buying Bitcoin or Ethereum and then sending that over to Binance or KuCoin, some of these altcoin exchanges that only accept cryptocurrency. By the time you take into account the fees to buy the Bitcoin, then the transaction, waiting that time, and some people just don't like that, and they're happy to pay a little bit extra to use the Australian exchanges. If you've been around a while, you know how this all works, guys. Have a play around with it and find which exchange you like best, which option that you're happy to do. But it's about getting organized. It's about having an account with most of these, because it does chop and change depending on what the volume is like and the order books look like on each exchange at each given time. We saw BTC Markets out of action for a couple of days, so you want to have those options up your sleeve, particularly when markets are at highs and at lows and they tend to have these issues. You don't want to be stuck with all your money on one exchange. So great question there. Other options we have are our brokers like Caleb and Brown, where you can ring them up, and some people like paying a little bit extra in fees to have that holding the hand type service, where they'll very quickly get your money into a specific coin or out of a coin in basically any amount up to $1 million over the phone. So pretty cool stuff there. We've got a great relationship with them. HiveX is another broker that we're going to have on the channel soon. Local Bitcoins, some people like to pay a bit extra to be anonymous, with cash and those different options on local Bitcoins as well. So check them all out, guys. I hope I've answered that question thoroughly. Next question we've got here is from Brenton Bacon from Facebook, and it says, what's your updated predictions for Funfair end of year price? So I don't tend to give price targets. Funfair is one of the coins that I believe is very underrated and still is. So it's now down 90% from its all-time highs, like a lot of altcoins are. But they're the opportunities I look for when a coin has been making great developments. The team's ticking all the boxes, yet some of these coins that are doing completely nothing have fallen the same amount as the good quality coins. So Funfair is disrupting that online gaming and gambling, casinos. They're going to license out that technology to existing websites and platforms. So huge source of revenue. Players use the Funfair token. Developers get paid in Funfair token for the games they produce. So plenty of intrinsic demand on that utility token. They've got Fate channel technology. So that's similar to how Bitcoin has its Lightning network and Ethereum has their Raiden second layer network. Funfair have developed that themselves. So rather than having to wait for the blockchain for each transaction, you can do hundreds of clicks and play all these games, all on their technology, on that second layer solution, and then the final settlement happens on the blockchain that's recorded, and then you get that instant payout in your profits or whatever that is. So very cool stuff. Very experienced team. Jez Sand, the CEO, I'd love to get him on the channel if any Funfair team are watching. Mike Novogratz with his Galaxy funds have invested in this one. Pantera Capital. So some of the big hedge funds are really bullish on Funfair as well, which makes me like it. They've done plenty of AMAs. They're very open with the community about development. Look, everything about it I really like, and I know it hasn't performed well this year. It might make my top 10 underrated coins for next year as well if the sideways action continues. So the next question we've got here is from Geordie McKay from Facebook. Do you think getting retail set up with crypto point of sale infrastructure is a legitimate way to drive and contribute to adoption? So another great question. And we've got Living Room of Satoshi and Travel by Bit, and we're now seeing similar services pop up, which is fantastic for competition and driving lower fees. We're very lucky in Australia that we can already pay any bill, and there's so many towns now looking to adopt that payment gateway, and you don't need infrastructure, which is a really key point. So anyone with an iPad or just a phone, contact Travel by Bit, get that app on there, and people can start paying in a variety of coins that the merchant can choose. Now, some people might say, well, why would I ever pay with crypto instead of just PayPass or with normal money? Now, in developed countries like Australia and the US, look, there's not a huge advantage at the moment. As a merchant, instead of paying a 3% credit card fee, they're saving 3% on their end, so you're doing them a favor. And I've already spoken to a few of our friends, where we had lunch yesterday. We paid with Bitcoin, and they're now doing $1,000, $2,000 a month, and it's starting to save them $30, $60, and that all starts to add up. And that's just one aspect of it. The other huge aspects that I'm really bullish on are tourism. Since we did that Travel by Bit Brisbane Airport, their phone has continually been ringing with Chinese tourists wanting to book their whole holiday and pay everything with Bitcoin. So as more and more merchants come on board, Australia's getting its name as a crypto-friendly destination, which is absolutely awesome. And just the fact that people see that Bitcoin sticker or that terminal, they see someone paying or a tourist, and they go, oh, what's that? Oh, that's Bitcoin. It's just getting people familiar with it, that it's not this scary, unknown thing when they see, everyday people paying for everyday things with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So awesome to see. I think we're doing plenty of things right in Australia in terms of getting crypto adoption and everyday use. Next question is from Twitter, from Crypto Troy. So he's saying, in a social setting, who in your team is the most entertaining? So for those that don't know, Nuggets News has grown a lot since I started a year ago. We've now got 4 full-time. We had 3 part-time as well, particularly over summer when it was just absolutely mayhem in terms of members coming in, people joining, emails, merchandise, everything. So we've now got, head of social media, head of business development, head of business relations. We've got our professional services branch. So all my team are very funny guys. Most of you have met Ben, James, Aaron, and Benjamin at all our free meetups. We've been around Australia twice now, and we'll come again, guys. Try and get to more cities next time. Maybe might wait till the market's a bit more bullish, and that tends to get a better turnout. But we've got an unbelievable team, always laughing and joking. In our premium service, in our members area, the meme culture and senses of humor are unreal. I didn't really even know how to use GIFs and memes until the start of this year, guys, and they certainly outdo me. So they're all a good bunch. I hope you all come and meet them at our next free meetups that we do around the country. So final question here from Jan Canning on YouTube says, please discuss arbitrage, how to take advantage of it. Is it legal? Do you recommend it? Do you do it? So arbitrage, for those that don't know, is just when the same coin can be a different price on a different exchange. Now that exchange might have different fees, it might be in a different country, might be all sorts of reasons why it's a different price on a different exchange. And some people look at that and go, well, geez, if it's cheaper here and it's more expensive there, why don't I buy it here and sell it there and make profit on the difference? So that's the basics of arbitrage, but in reality, it actually works a little bit different to that. So it's not illegal, but different exchanges will have what they call a wide bid-ask spread. So the price of someone buying and selling can actually be quite wide. So you might not necessarily get your orders filled straight away, or you might pay more to get your order filled, and then all of a sudden it starts to erode that gap. And then other things come into the equation, such as the volume or liquidity. So there might only be a small amount of that price, and as you go to buy more to make it worthwhile doing arbitrage, the price starts to diminish that gap. Then you've got how long it takes to send coins to another exchange. We're waiting on all these pending confirmations. It can take an hour or more depending on what coin it is. You're taking a risk by doing that if the price changes in the meantime. Then it's a matter of getting money into that other exchange if it's in a different country, or selling it there and then getting money out of that country, back to Australia if that's where you're doing your arbitrage from. So look, in reality, there's a lot of things that make this quite difficult to do. Back in the day, there was people that made a living from this. So citizens that were, Chinese citizens living in Australia that had Chinese bank accounts or Korean bank accounts or both, there was a huge premium at one stage, 20-30% we saw during the bull market. So you could, buy Bitcoin or Ethereum in Australia and sell it for 20 or 30% higher. And because they had those bank accounts in those other countries, they were able to make that full circle arbitrage and send the money back to Australia. And continue that process. And I know people that made millions of dollars doing that over the years, but you did have to be, a citizen or have accounts in those countries, get approved on all those exchanges to do large amounts of withdrawals. So it's possible. The reality is it's a lot harder to do it on the stock markets these days. The gaps are so diminished because of bots and trading algorithms, and that's probably where the crypto markets are going, and definitely going to go in the future. As they mature in general, we just see more volume in trading. So fantastic questions again this week, guys. Make sure you use the Ask a Nugget hashtag. We will do our best to pick 5 interesting questions from the community each week and answer them. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Cheers.